So the first question we have is, I believe, a math question. It says 3 partners, Alex, Bob, and Kathy, invest $36,000, $45,000, and $54,000, respectively, in a business. They share in the profits in proportions to their investment. Last year's profit was $37,500. What is Kathy's share?
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna try it. I need to open the email and I need to just copy that onto. No, this is not gonna work quick. All right, I'm gonna copy it from you. Sorry. So let's see. So Alex was 36,000. Bob was 45,000.
Mm-hmm.
And Kathy, was 54,000. Okay. And then
So
they share in the profits in proportion to their investment. Last year's profit was 37,000. Okay. 37,500.
Yep.
Okay. Okay. All right. So what we really need to find out first, who are we doing? We're doing Kathy's. We
Yes,
want to know
Kathy.
Kathy's. Okay. What we really need to find out first is what proportion each person invested into all of this, because that's the portion of the profit that they're going to end up getting. So one thing when we're doing the portion of what we're doing is we've got to find the total amount. That's always going to be the bottom part of the proportion. So we're going to find the total first. So we have 36,000 plus 45,000 plus 54,000, and let's see, 4, 5, 6. So let's do this. So 135,000 is the total. Sorry, let me explain this real quick. All right. So if our total is 135,000, we'll find the portion. We can find the portion that each one of them did, but really we're trying to focus on Kathy because we want to know how much of the profit that Kathy is going to get. So Kathy, let's do this. Kathy is doing 54,000. She invested $54,000 out of 135,000. So that's going to be my total, or her portion. And if we simplify that fraction, which I'm going to use my calculator to do that, you end up getting, it would simplify to 0.4, or you could also think of this as 4/10. And the way that I did that is I just divided the numerator divided by the denominator, that's it. Or you could also say 4/10. So she's getting, or also, I should also say in percentage form, she's 40%. So that's how much she invested in comparison to Bob and Alex. She did 40% of the investments. So we know that she's going to get the same portion of her profit that she invested. So that means that she's going to get 40% of the profit, which the profit, back up here, was told to us in that word problem, and it's 37,500. So we're essentially trying to find what 40% of 37,500. Now, I could get into a bit about percents and how percent means. So what this really means is 40 out of every 100. So every 100 that's in this 37,500, she's going to be receiving 40 of that. But the way that procedurally you would find a percent of something is we would turn it to a decimal first, and we actually already had that decimal here, 0.4, and then we're going to multiply it by our total. So we're going to do 0.4 times 37,500, and we get 15,000. So Kathy is going to get 15,000 of the 37,500 in profit. We could also find the portion for Bob and Alex, but since this problem it just asked about Kathy, we'll just stop there. So hopefully that helps. Hopefully that answered the question.
Yeah, do you have any, because you can call it proportion 0.4, or you can call it 4/10, or you can call it 40%. Mm-hmm. Do you have any advice on when a student might want to choose which one, or is it just whatever's most intuitive to the student, I think?
Probably whatever's most intuitive,
Yeah.
just because some people are really afraid of fractions.
Mm-hmm.
Some people actually, I had students tell me the other day, they hate decimals, they would prefer fractions.
Interesting.
I know.
I've literally never heard that.
I know, I was really surprised, but it happens.
Yeah.
So I'd say whatever you're most comfortable with. Typically, percents are easiest to understand, but not necessarily easiest to work with. We always turn them to decimals to work with them, right?
Yeah, and you always have to remember that's out of 100, and
Right.
there's just a little bit more with that.
Yeah.
I usually say if you're going to be adding, then decimals are easier. If you're going to be multiplying like a percent, then the fraction's a lot easier to multiply.
Yeah.
But again, I think it comes down to whatever you feel most comfortable with. Like
And
you
it
said.
also depends on the numbers too. So let's
Right.
say you have 1/3. That's not a nice decimal. That's 0.3 repeating.
Right.
So a fraction would be much nicer to work with in that case. So I think it really it depends on a lot, unfortunately.
Right.
It's nice to know how to do all three and move back and forth between all three, just in case the scenario calls for something. One of
Yeah.
them works better.
Yeah, I agree.